Okay, so I'm Ryan. This is Trevor, and we're going to be speaking about human vision, which is very much a spherical thing. It's perhaps easy to think that human vision is flat, and there's a lot of flat images out there to support that idea. But in fact, from our two eyes, we look out into the world through a spherical scope, and all the light rays that come into our eyes come through an arrayed formation, which is a portion of a sphere.
That point of spherical vision was very, very key for us, and it defined a new paradigm for us. And in order to acknowledge that new paradigm, we built this sculpture out of corrugated cardboard. All the corrugation in it aims forward in the sculpture, and because of the spherically concave shape of the form, all the corrugation intersects at a focus point about 6 feet in front of the sculpture. So if a viewer stands with their eyes at that focus point, they can see through all the tubes of corrugation simultaneously, and the sculpture sort of disintegrates and becomes transparent. In the photo on the left, my hand is actually behind the sculpture. And that is a visual proof that human vision is spherical.
So following this acknowledgement, it makes sense that if you're going to set out to make a rendering of your visual reality, which is to say, insert a picture plane between yourself and the thing that you're looking at, to insert a spherical picture plane is in harmony with the shape of light rays and makes more sense than a flat picture plane.
The question is, however, how might one draw an accurate image onto concave paper?
So one might need a spherical easel. This is the concave easel that we've built. It holds concave paper and has a head stabilizing device.
We should state, though, that drawing images onto spheres was never an explicit intention of ours. It was never a goal. But through lateral conversations about human vision and through dissecting the nuance of human vision and translating those conversations into notes and diagrams, that allowed us to compare our respective experiences of human vision, we stumbled upon a method that we could use to achieve these drawings.
One of the key observations was that things double, and your nose as a starting point is physically singular on your face, but optically it appears twice. It appears to the right and left side of your vision as it is seen by your two eyes. Right. And that optical doubling is seen on actually every object that you look past. So if you look past an object in the foreground to focus on the background, you'll see this optical doubling occur.
Yes. Now, how is that optical doubling? How can that optical doubling be used to draw?
If you take a piece of paper and insert it halfway into your vision, so that one eye is able to look around the edge at the scene in the distance,
while the other eye is blocked by the paper,
your sight lines will then be disaligned at the paper plane. So they're separated here. Your sight lines will be separated at the paper plane as they are converging in the distance. And that separation of the paper plane will cause an optical double of the pen and the paper to appear in your visual cortex. Right. You will literally be able to see the real pen placed to the piece of paper while an optical double image of it scoots over and appears to float to the side, overlapping the real scene.
And importantly, that optical double is transparent, so you can literally see the scene through the pen and through the paper. This allows you to then take your pen tip and trace over the details of the scene, copying down the scale, proportion, location of objects, all the visual characteristics of the space onto the paper in a proportion that matches how it appears to your eye.
Yes, you can record your visual reality utilizing this optical double.
Right. Now, there are some limits involved. While the tracing is happening, you can only trace about 2.5 inches wide, about the width of your two eyes. So one margin needs to be traced in at a given moment. That needs to be sliced away and removed in order to move over to the next margin. But once you've traced in all the successive margins panned across the scene, you can tape them back together and assemble a complete recreation of how the light appeared to your eye.
Yes, you can in a way intercept the light rays coming to your eye on a spherical sheet of paper and be left with a final rendering that matches how the scene appeared to your eye when you were there on site.
And we are out of time.